In recent years, China's foreign policy has undergone a notable transformation, shifting from the use of soft power to a more assertive approach known as sharp power, leveraging on its economic and military might. Larry Diamond, senior fellow at the Hoover Institution, sheds light on China's adoption of sharp power tactics to assert its influence in the Indo-Pacific region and its implications for nations.
During a recent briefing with journalists from the Foreign Press Center at Stanford University, he highlighted how China's sharp power is mainly sought through propaganda and information control.
The ideal for them is mental control, informational control, normative control. And so the propaganda apparatus powered through the Voice of China and the promotion of Xinhua News Agency and other PRC news sources as, for them, hopefully the predominant source of news for a lot of global media is extremely important. And it's also pretty darn clever, because if you read the feeds from the Chinese news agencies, you know, a lot of it's just straight reporting. They're just giving you the facts, like CNN or Agence France Presse or BBC would. And so you think, well, why not use this source? But it's the 15% that's at, kind of buried underneath that is slipping in a Chinese point of view subtly in the course of some news articles, and then with specific articles that are much more pointed. And it's also not just what is reported, but of course what isn't reported. Controlling the narrative means suppressing anything critical about what China has been doing in Xinjiang province, what China has been doing to completely suppress and extinguish freedom of the press and the rule of law and the semi-democracy that existed in Hong Kong, to arrest dissidents and even human rights lawyers in China, to nibble at the edges of Indian sovereignty, to take control of the South China Sea with the construction of these new islands, whatever. You just won't see any type of criticism. And, you can complain about the US and so on as well. But, look at the Voice of America feeds and look at the Voice of China feeds, and I think you'll see a real difference in tone.
Now, according to Diamond, smaller nations are particularly vulnerable to sharp power tactics. He emphasizes the importance of caution and transparency in dealing with Chinese investments.
I'm not saying don't accept Chinese investment, but there needs to be very careful review and very transparent review of the relationship to determine whether it's really in the national interest. What are the terms that are being offered? Is China going to be employing the country's own labor, or as they do in many places, bringing in their own workers? They've become a kind of isolated phenomenon that doesn't get the more extended benefits of providing jobs to the local population. Is there a strategy for capturing the local technology? Is there a strategy for penetrating the local political system? All of this needs to be open to public debate. And if the investments are not happening, or the loans are not being finalized in ways that are open to the scrutiny of the press, the parliament, research institutes, and independent actors, I can just tell you, on the basis of what's happened elsewhere in the world, bad things happen. And usually those bad things are lubricated